Joe Hart has been speaking to the Stiffs podcast. In the Stiffs podcast, this is what it's called. Now, we've managed to get a hold of this. We talk about, you want honesty in football, Trev, right? You want brutal honesty from the man at the top, the manager that you play for. But do you want it like this? Nuno Espirito Santo, of course, in his time at Tottenham. Joe Hart, before he got to Celtic, at Tottenham. So let's now hear from Celtic goalkeeper Joe Hart. He was speaking to this In the Stiffs podcast about his time came to an end at Tottenham, and it followed a blunt, or blunter than blunt, conversation with the then manager, Nuno Espirito Santo. This is Joe.
They would sign in the goalkeeper, Galini. And I was like, I know you're signing the goalkeeper. I know Hugo's not going anywhere. I said, do we need to have a conversation? Yeah, we'll speak after training. And then he was like, I'll speak first. I was like, yeah, cool. And then he was like, look, just to be clear, there's someone I'm signing. There'll be 3 goalkeepers. Let's be absolutely clear. No matter what happens, you will not kick a ball this year. I was like, right, okay. He was like, you'll be free to work with sporting director to get yourself out. However you want to play it, play it. I said, just out of interest, I said, remove yourself from the situation here. You used to be a goalkeeper, apparently. Why has it come to this? Why have I gone from being whoever I was to why am I now completely surplus to requirements in a squad to not even be able to back up a first choice? I went, speak freely. And he just went, in my opinion, we all reach a point in our career where we can't, the body won't allow you to play football. In my opinion, we're at it now. I would not feel comfortable with you playing 1 minute for me. The ball's too quick for you. You're too old. You're not moving. You've got no strength in your body. He literally buried me, and I'm laughing because whether I'm deluded or not, I was like, don't agree with any of that. And then I literally went home and went, I'm completely baffled here. I said, I think I'm done. I can't be anymore. I said, I can't sit in a room and have that said to me by him. 3 years of literally just not knowing what the hell I'm doing, going no direction, just constantly getting volleyed in the face when I'm literally all I'm trying to do is my best.
That was Joe Hart speaking to the In the Stiffs podcast. You know Joe,
yeah.
Trevor, you know him very well. You've had him in this show with us. What's your version of events of that when you hear Joe speaking about how Nuno conducted the exchange between the two of them?
What was he, 32, 33 at the time?
Right.
You're not finished at 32, 33. You're looking at, you could, all the things that he mentioned there, technically, with the ball at your feet, the speed of the ball, you can improve on that with reaction stuff, flexibility, strength. You can improve on all of that. So I don't quite understand why, if you didn't say, listen, these are the things I think you're lacking, go and improve on them, train with us and we'll see where you're at. Why just draw a line under Joe Hart with the reputation and what he's done in the sport and discount him? I think that's poor man management.
Theme.
I think it's poor man management.
But hold on, it's a constant theme. Pep Guardiola did pretty much the same thing. He pretty much did the exact same thing. What's he done? Once upon a time, he kept goal well. So Torino didn't fancy him. West Ham didn't fancy him. Burnley didn't fancy him. So with the best will in the world, what's the common denominator in all of that?
Well, they've all got good first-team keepers. They've all got good first-team keepers. You look at Burnley, Nick Pope, and they had another. You look at Tottenham, they've got the captain of France.
Sure.
So he's not competing for the first team.
But so it's irrelevant what he's done before then, isn't it? It's
well, no, but he just wanted to support. And he is a good supporter. He's vocal. He's a good leader. He's very professional.
But again, I don't understand the question. Pep Guardiola did the same thing.
Yeah, but
pretty much made his. But
Pep had a 2-hour conversation with Joe Hart about his strengths and weaknesses.
So it's the style of conversation.
Well, Nuno Espirito Santo is saying, incidentally, I'm not having you. So you may as well.
So let me get it right. You asked the manager the question.
You're too old.
So you are.
Buffon's 44.
Whilst we're having this moment to share, manager, can you tell me why you don't want me? So he tells him why he doesn't want him, and because he doesn't like it, we get this version.
But there's
of
no
events.
lifeline. There's no lifeline. He said, listen, go and improve on them, and we'll have a look at you in 3 months.
Well, he knew where he stood, didn't he? So there's one thing in life that you can be clear on. The benefit is knowing where you stand.
I don't think as a manager you're serving the club right, because you're paying his wages and you're saying it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter how much you improve. We're just going to pay your wages. You can try and get yourself out of here by speaking to the sporting director.
Well,
what if Joe said, all right, you know what, I'm going to sit on my contract now for the next 3 years. I'm not going to do a tap. What if Joe said that? He's not playing the best part as manager for the football club.
We're not privy to two sides of the conversation.
I understand
We're privy
that.
to one side. Mm-hmm. And of course, with the outcome at Tottenham Hotspur, the ends will have justified the means, won't they? Because the fact that Nuno Espirito Santo appears to conduct himself in this way has brought about his own downfall, some might say. Or The more likely circumstance is that you've got a goalkeeper that's been in this situation in 5 or 6 other clubs where he hasn't been valued by those clubs, whether they've been as brutal and as blunt and as disparaging as Nuno Espirito Santo has been. They've pretty much been by default because they've not wanted him to stay there. So whether Pep Guardiola puffed smoke up his backside for 2 hours or not, he soon drop-kicked him out the door.
It was to former England number 1 like that.
Why not then?
I think you can be honest,
Simon,
but
you always go on to me about respect in life and respect for people.
Respect is earned, not by what you've
Yeah,
done,
but Joe's
it's by what
earned
you
respect
do.
by what he's done.
well,
in
I
his
think
career.
you look at the fallout from the Spurs players.
People
and
universally laugh about Joe Hart's
Nuno
ridiculous outbursts in the tunnel in the World Cups where they think he was over egging the pudding. People laugh about certain aspects of Joe Hart. He is not entitled to be spoken to in any fashion better than anybody else. And if this is how this manager operates, then he'll reap the whirlwind, and he obviously consequently has at Tottenham Hotspur.
And that's what I'm saying.
But the bottom line is that the guy has a view. The guy asked him a question. He gave him an answer. So don't ask the question if you don't want the answer. And if you can't take the answer, don't ask the question again.
It's not about what the answer
No,
is.
it's
It's
about
about
how you
deliver it. How you deliver it, and if you give him a lifeline to then
Well, he
say,
didn't want to.
right.
He didn't want to.
But that's why he's out of a job, because he doesn't know how to
No,
speak
he's
to
out of
players.
a job.
And he lost a lot of the other players. If you listen to the Tottenham
He's
players,
out of a job.
If you listen to the Tottenham players, they didn't like playing for Nuno.
And there's also an argument, and I don't disagree with you, because there was a lot of things about Nuno Espirito Santo that were coming out of the ether at Wolves about how political he could be and manipulative he could be. But there was a time where he was considered to be a leading light, and what he'd done for Wolverhampton Wanderers was quite substantial.
Yeah.
So here we are now, a style of management. Everyone's got their own style. Definite. Too many people don't want to be definite. They want to be everything to everyone, neither Arthur nor Martha. Right? So he's decided that for me, for whatever reason, here's your answer. You want an answer? I'll give you an answer. Yeah. I won't whisper it through the assistant manager. I won't whisper it through the back door. I'll have the balls to tell you this is what I think, right or wrong.
You can tell somebody the same thing. It's how you deliver it. He delivered it wrong. He delivered it wrong.
Depends,
he didn't give him a lifeline.
Why should he?
Because he's got a 3-year contract at Spurs. That's why he should.
But if Spurs aren't worried.
Spurs aren't worried.
And who do you think he accounts to? Do you think Daniel Levy is going to allow people to run around and financially jeopardise his pocket?
That's why he got sacked. Because he's probably treating players wrong and he's not getting the right results.
It's almost sounding, Simon, as if he was speaking to him in the sense that he was disciplining him for something. You're not going to play a minute for me. I mean,
that's not good man management.
England number one.
Hold on, Jim. The one thing that we don't have in this conversation is context.
Yeah.
We don't know. We've seen this silly little fly on the wall documentaries where Danny Rose rocks into Jose Mourinho's office and tells him what he thinks, right? Yeah. And we know it's all staged for the cameras. We've also been in situations where one side of the observation is painted in a certain way. When you see it in all its entirety, you go, hang on a second. Now I can see why you went that way, because in isolation, Gaffer, can you tell me why I'm not playing? Vroom, I'll give you the kitchen sink. That seems to be a completely unreasonable, unprofessional, unrealistic way to engage with somebody. I'm willing to wager you that this was a two-way conversation, and maybe that Espirito Santo levied and volleyed this set of outbursts based upon the manner in which Joe questioned him.
So do you want brutal honesty?
Yeah, you do. Of course you do. You know
that's what Joe got. This is the insinuation. That's what Joe got from Nuno.
Do you not want him? Do you want to be lied to then? Everybody knows where they stand.
You want to be told the truth, but you want a chance to be able to redeem yourself and get yourself back in a situation where you can compete for a position.
Will turn around and say to you, I can take the truth. I want people to be honest with me. Tell me to my face. Don't be a coward. Tell me what you think. Don't give me a bib on a Friday afternoon so I know I'm not playing. Tell me why I'm not playing. So you've just been... I don't like that. I need to be told in a different way. Sod off. You're not wanted.
Listen, he might not have wanted him at the football club, and he might not have thought he was good enough. That's fine.
Okay.
Give him a lifeline where he can say, right, improve on this, improve on this, improve on this, and then if you do all that, then you'll be in contention.
But again, context is the one thing we're missing. The context is the
one thing we're missing. You can't argue both points. He's either said it or he's delivered it in the wrong way.
Context is the key part of this equation. Yeah. If he turned around and walked in there and took his head and shoulders off and sat down and said, here's the moment, I'm the former England goalkeeper. How dare I get marginalised? Explain to me why I'm being... So the goalkeeper, hold on a second.
Yeah, Joe's not like that.
Joe felt he'd been strong. Joe felt he'd been buried by him.
Yeah. Joe's been bodied by 6 clubs. He's been bodied by 6 clubs. He's gone out to Torino. He was useless out there. He's gone to West Ham. He wasn't much better there.
He was on loan.
He wasn't useless. How do you know he was useless?
He was on loan.
Because
he did all right.
Read the Italian press about the goals that he let in. We watched his career. We were hearing the ricks that were coming back from Italy.
Are you a regular reader of the Italian press?
Yes, I am.
I didn't realise that.
I have Italian friends that support Torino. As you know, I have interest in Italian restaurants. So I'm quite plugged into what the Italians think.
There is an irony in all
He's useless.
There is an irony of all of this. Nuno Espirito Santo is speaking to the much-capped Joe Hart in that fashion.
So what?
Both were goalkeepers. Joe is a good goalkeeper still. He
Yeah.
won a trophy
Well,
recently, Trevor, with your
he's
beloved
And
Celtic.
he looks like he's getting Golden Glove in the SPL as well.
And Nuno was a goalkeeper, but never won a cap for the national team.
So what do you think?
I'm only,
Do you think
I'm
there's
only
envy
saying,
involved?
I'm only saying. But listen, are you directing us to the Italian press? Am I missing out here? Should I start reading
I'm
Italian
directing you
newspapers?
to context and research. I know that's something journalism often evades.
Yes.
But in this interest, I had a little bit of background understanding so I can support my point with some validity.
What national newspaper is it you've been reading?
I didn't read
the
this national
Italian
newspaper.
What,
I was reading it on the back of my friends that read it, who are Italians.
in the back of an
And they were
Italian,
talking to me about what was going on in their papers, and I was also privy to reading things on over internet when we were talking about Torino's performance and
Yeah.
Joe Hart, because Joe Hart was an interest point to people, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah.
As the former England goalkeeper,
Absolutely.
going out to Italy because he'd been kicked out by Guardiola because Guardiola had said, "I want goalkeepers who can play out."
He went
Hang
there
on a
on
second,
a
he never got a
short.
chance then, did he?
He went there on a short, long
Sure.
term. He went from Manchester City.
Everything's
He
been
then
short term,
signed
isn't it?
He,
Yeah.
he went to Burnley. Nick Pope was on fire. England played for England last night, so you can understand why he wouldn't get the number one position there. He went to Spurs. Hugo Lloris is number one, won the World Cup with France. He then went to Celtic, and he's
What is
probably
this?
winning the Golden
Mutual
Glove.
Admiration
Maybe if you're
Society?
so
It's not. It's
well-versed
It's
in
just putting a
Italian
little bit
culture.
of
You've got,
detail.
you've got nothing to talk about goalkeepers on.
What's the Italian for cul-de-sac? Because Simon's in one. It's 1:45.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.